Sir Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA 21-12671. Offices in Baton Rouge.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
On 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
From the Jamborees to the Superdome.
Your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. Here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Good evening and welcome to round two, playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, our cast of thousands behind the scenes. Ryan Kennedy producing audio, Taylor Sharp on video, and Skip Cotrere getting our scores read and gathered and tweeted at Louisiana Prep is the account. You can watch us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Jump in the live chat and let us know your thoughts on the night. And then we'll be joined very shortly by our audience on Your View. It goes final Lafayette Christian 46, McDonough 35-8. Lafayette Christian advances in their bracket, and we'll join our audience on Your View very shortly. So tonight in round two, maybe as expected, you get the teams coming off byes. You get a couple more games that are more competitive, maybe some closer games, closer margins of victory. I'll be interested in seeing the stats on Sunday. We read over some last week from Hunter Bauer at Go Preps. Margin of victory around 25 points or so, 3 touchdowns. I would think it shrinks a little bit in this week.
Quite a bit.
And some local teams making some adjustments in the second half and coming away victorious.
You know, coming in from Zachary West Monroe game, Todd and I talked on the phone, and some of the scores he was giving me, halftime scores, were kind of head-scratchers. You know, Scotlandville and Carr. Carr didn't take a lead until the fourth quarter.
Catholic High was only up 7-0.
7-0. There was 3 or 4 different games that he was texting me, and we're like, wow, those are kind of shockers. And then most of the teams that we thought would pull away ended up pulling away in the second half. But some really, really good football games tonight.
First off, before we get into any, we were at the first half of Zachary and West Monroe. That was our walk-ons game of the week. What other game, not necessarily the result, but how it got to the result, surprised you? We talked about Edie White and Evangel's having looking like they're making a comeback with that program from what it was just a couple years ago, where it really didn't seem like it was in that great a shape. Edie White's a real good football team to have a lead late in that game. And then Denham Springs makes a road trip to a team that's been scoring a ton of points, 48, 50-something points on average, and comes away victorious tonight.
This gives me an opportunity. You know, you talk about a year's difference in Evangel, right? Do you think he went out and got 25 new players and just started reeling them in, and that's how all of a sudden they became good?
Yeah.
Or is it coaching?
Yeah.
I mean, I think at some particular point we all recognize, because nobody was going to go to Evangel the way they were looking last year. He took what they had and made something of it. And Jimmy said probably the most improved team in the state. And I think without a doubt it is. And it has nothing to do with anything other than coaching. Give them credit.
Dennis Duron went back and took over that program. Look, they were on the brink of having to make a decision whether to quit playing football or close the school or whatever, and they went from a powerhouse, and I can remember was a couple of years ago General Trask beat them week 1, and it caught all of our eyes. Well, then we come out, they don't have 20 players on the team anymore, and the job that Coach Duron has done, like I said, they may be the most improved team in the state from the beginning of the year to the end. So they lose on a last-second field goal to Edie White. What's the final, Cade, on that one?
Was it 32-29?
32-29 on basically a walk-off field goal. So,
and Edie White has been solid all year. Their only loss coming to Woodlawn.
In a game, 29-26, I think it was, in a game that they led in the fourth quarter. So, and they played for the state championship last year. Coach Lassane has done a really good job down there. So, yeah, you got to take your hats off. That was a heck of a game. And you talk about another one, Cade, right off the bat, Denham Springs down 20-14 late in the game and comes back and kicks a field goal, getting a text with 6 seconds left to up. Well, it's not really upset. It was 8 and a 9, but Benton had been scoring just piles and piles of points. But we thought, Todd and I talked about earlier in the week. I talked to Brett Beard when he was on the bus on the way up there. He called me, and I think we all kind of liked their chances because of the style of play. And after having seen Parkway last week against Dutchtown, that even gave me a little bit more confidence that Denham Springs had a really good chance. So you're going to sit here next week in the Baton Rouge area. You're going to have number 1 Ruston come to Denham Springs in the quarterfinals. I'm sure Mr. Robert Graves will text us in a little bit and tell us when's the last quarterfinal appearance Denham Springs had. And then you're going to have Carr coming to Catholic in the Baton Rouge area. That's going to be another good.
Wasn't that game 28-14, though? And then Denham scored to make it 28-20, missed extra point, came back, went for 2. 28-26.
Yes, and then
you gotta come on, fill me in.
Yeah, well,
boy.
I don't know the details. I know that Benton fumbled late in the game. I don't know how much time was. I don't know if they were kneeling or what. Oh, they're celebrating right now. They're through texting me, but maybe somebody will text us. But anyway, Benton fumbled, and I don't know if Denham Springs had to kick the ball immediately or drive it a little bit, but that's how they got the ball back at the end of the ball game.
Benton's offense came back down to earth because it was a 28-24 over Parkway, as you mentioned. I forget what they did last week. So, but also we had saw how well Denham Springs had been playing defensively, and that can travel a little bit and maybe hold things in a different way, and maybe somewhere that team. We go back to that halftime speech. Was it the Dutchtown game where they kind of turn some things around, and maybe there's a point
made
where
some changes at halftime of that game, you could say the least. But one thing I think is their style of play. It's the same thing that Parkway did, and I asked Coach Brotherton how did they hold Benton to 28 points. Well, he said we ran the football straight at them, and we limit their first half possessions to 2. And that's why I thought Denham Springs had that ability. They had 2 running backs last week go over 100 yards. They can rotate them in and out, and would be willing to bet you that's kind of why it played like it was tonight. Well, now, I do know Mooney. Mooney actually, the starting quarterback, was actually pulled during this game and put back in. He had a rough start to the game. They put in Jerry Horn, and they went back to Mooney, and he responded.
Well, and this game ended up, you're talking about the ebbs and flow of a game. This one was quite different, and it seemed like when Mooney responded, it was the time that they needed him to respond the most. So, and that's the thing about coaching, and people can't – they know their kids. They know what makes them tick. They know how to pull the strings, and the ones that are very good know how to do it right. And I think that this is a perfect example of Coach Beard doing it, and, his team's going to the quarterfinals against Ruston.
And how great for that community after waiting for that brand new stadium for quite some time. You have a nice way to end the year, the regular season with one. You had a playoff game last week, and now you bring in the number 1 team for a big showdown in the quarterfinals. So real cool. I'm sure Big Mike's will be big rocking next week.
I got Coach Rose says, I need y'all to get Coach Beard on the phone so he can break down what the hell just happened. We might see if we can't do that.
He's got quite a ride home. So I know we have a coach lined up for the first segment. We'll have Coach Brewerton probably at 10:30, and then we may get to Coach Beard. It'll be a good time.
At 10:15, St. Mary advanced to the quarterfinals today. They played at 5 o'clock. Got to play out at Northwestern, but they had a big time win over Hanson, 45-0. St. Mary's the team that their only loss coming the first of the season to Abbeville. I think it might have been 21-0. I'm not positive on that, but they beat Logansport, and they beat some good teams through there. Abbeville had a great showing tonight. I think they ended up losing 17-14 to Iowa, if I'm not mistaken. But St. Mary's, Coach Aaron York, we'll speak with him at the 10:15 mark.
There's a lot of good stories that come from high school football postseason, and St. Mary is certainly one of them. So we'll look forward to that conversation in just a bit. Let's get you caught up on scores. We're going to go through all 8 brackets, the 4 non-select, but we'll first start with the 4 select brackets in Division I.
The Division I Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Warren Easton over Captain Shreve 48-7. Karen Crow over Acadiana 27-17. Northwood Shreveport 35, St. Paul 9. Brother Martin 27, St. Aug 24. John Curtis 35, Jesuit 7. C.E. Bird 49, Alexandria 10. Edna Carr over Scotlandville 34-26. And Catholic of Baton Rouge 24, Rummel 0.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
St. Thomas More blanks Helen Cox 55-0. Madison Prep over St. Louis 6-0. John F. Kennedy shuts out Hannon 30-0. E.D. White 32, Evangel 29. De La Salle 53, Vanderbilt Catholic 7. Lafayette Christian defeats McDonough 35, 46-8. And Archbishop Shaw 42, Livingston 6. And Turley's Catholic 51, GW Carver 27.
The Division III Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
Isidore Newman 57, Sophie B. Wright 19. University Lab 43, Country Days 0. Calvary shuts out Northlake Christian 52-0. Dunham all over Martin Luther King 56-21. Notre Dame, the close one over Lake Charles College Prep 41-40. Episcopal kicks field goal to beat Loyola Prep 10-7. Parkview over North Caddo 28-24. And St. Charles 49, Ascension Episcopal 17.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Vermilion Catholic over Cedar Creek 31-7. Southern Lab defeats St. Frederick 12-6. St. Mary's blanks Hanson 45-0. St. Martin over Delhi Charter 48-12. Washita Christian 49, Sacred Heart 0. Glenbrook over Catholic Point Capede 42-21. Ascension Catholic 38, Riverside 31, and Opelousas Catholic 52, Central Catholic 12.
The Division I Non-Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
Ruston over Washita 37-16. Denham Springs with a win 29-28 over Benton. Zachary 20, West Monroe 10. Southside a 35-14 winner over Northside. Destrehan 35, Dutchtown 14. East St. John over Houghton 35-21. Westgate defeats Slidell 28-7. Neville 31, East Ascension 9.
The Division II Non-Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
Iowa over Abbeville 17-14. Leesville over Jennings 21-7. Breaux Bridge defeats Iota 33-18. North DeSoto over Cecilia 33-14. Lakeshore over Opelousas 35-34. Lutcher defeats St. Martinville 49-33. North Vermilion 41, Church Point 30. And West Feliciana 55, Erath 21.
The Division III Non-Select Playoff Bracket,
Pumped by Peak Performance.
Manny blanks Richwood 21-0. Rose Pine over Westlake 20-13. Avoyelles defeats St. Helena 54-8. St. James over Laurelville 41-14. Union Parish over Sterlington 34-14. Patterson defeats Winfield 36-12. Amite over Gina 46-12. And Berwick over Bogalusa 33-30.
the Division IV Non-Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Kentwood over General Trask 53-8. Oak Grove 35, Welsh 14. Haynesville over Oakdale 36-16. Basile over Oberlin 19-6. Mangum over Grand Lake 60-12. Arcadia defeats White Castle in double overtime 18-12. Logansport over East Feliciana 46-16. And Homer 52, Delhi 7.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours. Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite.
Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. As we mentioned, high school football playoffs brings you lots of great stories, and this is one of them. In the Division IV Select Bracket Regional Round, number 12 seed Hanson Memorial St. Mary's gets the win over Hanson Memorial 45-0. They advance to the quarterfinals, and their head coach in his 5th year with St. Mary's, Aaron York, joins us now. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time tonight.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Why'd you guys get moved up to 5 o'clock, Coach?
Well, we play at Northwestern State. They've got an early game tomorrow, so just with the logistics, we had to bump our games up a few hours.
Of course, they wouldn't bump theirs back, really.
Well, I asked that, but they got a championship game tomorrow, so I gave it to them.
Hey, well, there's a lot of good things going on up there in Natchitoches then. Northwestern, you guys are playing really well. Talk to us a little bit about your season. We talked a little bit earlier. You've got 4 seniors, because usually a team like this, you think senior leadership, in which those 4 probably are good leaders. But there's more than that going on. You guys are doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, no, we've got a really good group of seniors. You know, they're a smaller class, but they're our leaders of the team, and they've been with us for going on 4 or 5 years that we've had them in the program. We've got a really good group of 11th graders coming in, a really big class, and just, if you look at our 9th and 10th grade, group, they're kind of taking the lead of the 11th graders that we've got in our senior group, and they're buying into what we've done here for the last several years, and they're reaping the benefits of their hard work.
Coach York, this is your 5th year there, and one of the things you've worked really hard on is to get younger programs in your school under your type of program and bring them up that way. Talk about how you've went about doing that, because that's a lot of things that people don't understand, how important it is to get your feeder schools, whether it's a select school or non-select school, to get your elementary schools, your middle school kids, and so on, to run the same type of stuff that you do.
Yeah, we're blessed here. We're K through 12, and so with everybody being on the same campus, we've been blessed with having a 3rd and 4th grade team, a 5th and 6th grade team, and we've got a junior high team with 7th and 8th graders. And any given day, you can look out at practice, and we've got 2 or 3 practices going on, and they, all the coaches are running your same system, offense, defense, and by the time they get to us, they've got the terminology down, and it makes it easier for our varsity coaches to, coach on their end.
You lose week 1 to Abbeville, which they lost tonight in the 2nd round, so they were pretty good too. 21-7, then you go on an 8-game winning streak. But I think the win that really jumps out at me was the win against Logansport a couple weeks ago. In between that, you played a fairly favorable schedule, and a lot of times people will ask, okay, how good are they? How good are they? Well, that question got answered against Logansport.
Yeah, I mean, we challenge ourselves playing up classification. With our numbers here at the school, we don't have, a whole lot of kids on our football team. If we get 30 out a year, we're doing a pretty good job. So just any time that we play up, classifications, it's a challenge for us because it's a numbers game. As far as, looking at Abbeville, it's one of those games at the beginning of the year that I felt like it was a numbers game that we competed and played really well. Just, we just got worn out, and we finally got into football shape, and I think that we're playing our best football now as far as Logansport goes. Our kids came out, and I thought that, they were fired up for that ball game, and we played really well.
I thought, Coach, it's interesting because when you took the job, there was only one way you wanted to do it, and that was build the kids from right there in Natchitoches and grow them with your off-season program and so forth and so on.
Right.
Cade just talked to me. He was like, well, have they won? He was doing some research. He's the smart guy of the group. Jimmy and I are here just kind of fillers, but, trying to get some history. And that's exactly what you're trying to build is history by going in and getting a good off-season program and getting the kids right there in your own backyard.
Yeah, no, the success has been here at this school. It's got a, if you look back, they have won football games here. What we're trying to do is, not wait 2 or 3 years to have, that dominant season, that you want to build your kids where you can sustain this year after year after year. And, this year, we're making a run at it, and we want to continue this next year and so forth. So, when you build the kids in the weight room and build them and have that feeder program, you can do this, every year.
Coach, I know that every year teams that have the opportunity to practice on Turkey Week always value that. There's some uninterrupted time you get to have that practice. What does it mean for your team, not only to advance in the postseason and play next week's round, but also to have that kind of week of practice ahead of your season that's still ahead and next season?
I mean, looking at these are extra practices that we're getting that other teams don't get. So, overall, it's going to make you a better program. Your kids are seeing more football. They're competing in football longer than, the schools that, are moved on to other sports. So, I mean, overall, it's going to build your program up. It's going to make your kids better. I think for the school, it's a good thing because, we're getting the publicity. Our kids are getting the publicity. For the community, it's a good thing that, we get to showcase an Academics here. So, for you to play this late in the season, not only does it benefit your football program, but it benefits your school and the town that you're in.
And it sets a standard, Jimmy, that all those little teams look up and see and say, that's what we're supposed to do too.
Absolutely.
Our biggest thing is we always want to play on Thanksgiving, and this year we're getting to do it.
And no pressure putting on you right now, and I know it's early, but you will travel to St. Martin's next week down in New Orleans. Do you know anything about St. Martin's other than they have a really good running back?
I know that they have a really good running back, and I know that it's a long ways down there, so it'll be a fun trip.
It is a long ways, and it can be a very short way back, too, with a good win by your team. And we really appreciate you taking some time to come on with us tonight and get to know a little bit about you, St. Mary, and we'll be hearing more from you guys here, it sounds like, in the next couple of weeks.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you. Look, a little bit about St. Martin's. They have several four-year starters in Matthew Menino, Garrett Deviney, Tim Roberts, Seth Mandela, all of the four-year starters. Harlem Berry's a sophomore running back we're talking about, over 1,700 yards, 30 touchdowns. He's a sophomore, 13.5 yards a carry. He has an LSU offer already. Kate, we can stay in this bracket for a little bit. The Southern Lab St. Fred score really kind of jumped out to me at only 12-6.
Yeah.
Vermilion Catholic. Southern Lab will advance to play Vermilion Catholic, and Vermilion Catholic has given up nothing. They've given up 3.7 points a game. They had 7 shutouts in 10 games. They give up 7 tonight. I don't know if that was late or not. That's a good one. Then we can move on down to a Ouachita Christian is going to play Glenbrook. Glenbrook has a state's longest winning streak, like you said. And then a 15-seed Opelousas Catholic upset Central Catholic. I think a lot of people picked them to do that because they had played such a tough schedule early in the year. But that was a blowout, 52-12. So you're going to have a good one, 2 battle-tested teams, Opelousas Catholic and Ascension Catholic in the quarters. And if I'm not mistaken, I think those guys played early in the year. Let me look real quick.
And I believe Opelousas Catholic won by a few.
I think Ascension Catholic won, didn't they? Let's see. Yeah, Opelousas Catholic's losses were to Oak Grove, Ascension Catholic, and Southern Lab. So, yeah, it's going to be a rematch. I do not have the score.
Well, Jimmy, damn.
I don't know. Blame me on that one. Oh, well.
All right, we'll let you.
All right, we've got more scores coming up here in just a bit, and I believe we'll be speaking to Coach
We're going to try
Brewerton.
to get Coach Brewerton next, and Coach Beard's going to be on standby for us.
Coach,
I imagine a happier Coach David Brewerton since the last time we spoke with him.
Yes.
You think that was Coach Arledge's last game for West Monroe? I know the principal's moving on.
I think it's time. Yeah, I mean, look, man's had a lot of success, one of the better defensive coordinators in the state. I think everybody in high school football will agree with that.
Was he on
the success
Coach Show's staff? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the success he's had as head coach it's been really good. Most people would love to have the success that Coach Arledge just had at West Monroe, but the West Monroe people are not. And you get to that point, Father Time catches you at some point, and
there's a certain standard.
I honestly think it's probably time. I think it's time for him to go sit back and enjoy it, not go through the stress. But a lot of people, that's all they've known in their life, and that's why they want to do it.
I don't know that he could enjoy it. It's tough, but
it is.
It's. I mean, we've said it for a couple of years now, but it's just the team to beat's not in North Louisiana anymore when it comes to 5A. In West Monroe, some people could argue Ruston, but
right.
The history speaks for itself, especially over the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
It's right here in Zachary.
And we look forward to a conversation if we can make that connection on the Cardinal Financial Hotline with Coach David Brewerton next, as well as some more scores here on this playoff round 2 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of.
Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. The Division I Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Warren Easton over Captain Shreve 48-7. Karen Crow over Acadiana 27-17. Northwood Shreveport defeats St. Paul 35-9. Brother Martin over St. Aug 27-24. John Curtis over Jesuit 35-7. C.E. Bird defeats Alexandria 49-10. Edna Carr 34, Scotlandville 26, and Catholic High 24, Rummel 0.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
St. Thomas More over Helen Cox 55-0. Madison Prep 6-0 over St. Louis. in overtime. John F. Kennedy 30, Archbishop Hannon 0, Edie White 32, Evangel 29. De La Salle over Vanderbilt Catholic 53-7. Lafayette Christian over McDonough 35, 46-8. Archbishop Shaw 42, Livingston 6. And Turlings Catholic 51, GW Carver 27.
The Division III Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
Newman over Sophie B. Wright, 57-19. University Lab shuts out Country Day, 43-0. Calvary blanks Northlake Christian, 52-0. Dunham over Martin Luther King, 56-21. Notre Dame over Lake Charles College Prep, 41-40. Episcopal defeats Loyola Prep, 10-7. Parkview defeats North Caddo, 28-24. And St. Charles Catholic 49, Ascension Episcopal 17.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Vermilion Catholic over Cedar Creek 31-7. Southern Lab defeats St. Frederick 12-6. St. Mary blanks Hanson 45-0. St. Martin's over Delhi Charter 48-12. Washita Christian 49, Sacred Heart 0. Glenbrook, a 42-21 winner over Catholic Point Capee. Ascension Catholic defeats Riverside 38-31. Opelousas Catholic over Central Catholic 52-12.
The Division I Non-Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
Ruston over Washita 37-16. Denham Springs defeats Benton 29-28. Zachary over West Monroe 20-10. Southside over North Shore, 35-14. Destrehan over Dutchtown, 35-14. East St. John over Houghton, 35-21. Westgate defeats Slidell, 28-7. Neville, 31. East Ascension, 9.
The Division II Non-Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
Iowa over Abbeville, 17-14. Leesville defeats Jennings, 21-7. Brobridge over Iota, 33-18. North DeSoto defeats Cecilia, 33-14. Lakeshore over Opelousas, 35-34. Lutcher defeats St. Martinville, 49-33. North Vermilion over Church Point, 41-30. And West Feliciana, 55. Erath, 21.
The Division III Non-Select Playoff Bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Manny over Richwood, 21-0. Rose Pine defeats Westlake, 20-13. Avoyles over St. Helena, 54-8. St. James defeats Lauraville, 41-14. Union Parish over Sterlington, 34-14. Patterson defeats Winfield, 36-12. Amite over Gina, 46-12. Berwick defeats Bogalusa, 33-30.
The Division IV Non-Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Kentwood over General Trask, 53-8. Oak Grove defeats Welsh, 35-14. Haynesville defeats Oakdale, 36-13. Basile over Oberlin, 19-6. Mangum over Grand Lake, 60-12. Arcadia in overtime defeats White Castle, 18-12. Logansport defeats East Feliciana, 46-16. And Homer, 52. Delhi, 7.
Thanks, Skip, for getting our scores together. You can follow us on Twitter at Louisiana Prep. Throughout the night, you can watch the scrolling ticker of the final scores from all 8 brackets on your view, as well as the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Going back to non-select Division I tonight, a very interesting game featuring a local team. I guess interesting is the least way you could really describe the ending to that ball game. Denham Springs hits the road, cold conditions, comes home with a win over number 8 Benton, and is now advanced to the quarterfinals. Quarterfinal game in Denham Springs. But first, Coach Brett Beer joins us on the Cardinal Financial Hotline. Coach, can you give us an explanation of what happened at the end of that ball game?
Heck, boys, I don't know what happened.
Have you? I've never seen anything. I'm getting a few different.
Seconds. There's 55 seconds. I had 2 timeouts. They're in victory. On the third situation, there's an inadvertent whistle that they ran the clock below 40, and I argued to get more time put on, and they gave us 44 seconds. Had to go to 4th down, and they went to kind of scramble and just kind of slide back and waste the time, and he went down with 0.6 seconds left on the clock and field goal range for us to kick it.
So he was running around. He just didn't run around enough?
No, he backed up. We got on him, and he just laid down with and the clock stopped at 0.6.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen it, but hey, you when you talk about telling your kids, hey, we got to play for 48 minutes.
48 minutes.
That's exactly why you play 48 minutes, not
absolutely
40. Not 47 minutes and 59 and a half seconds.
You just got Nick Saban off the hook.
Yeah, that's the wildest thing I've ever been a part of. They had already shot fireworks. Their students were on the field ready to storm. It was pretty wild.
And Brett, I know your kicker. It was 28-14, and Brooke was texting me. Y'all scored to make it 28-20. You miss an extra point, and if I'm not mistaken, the kid missed another kick during the ball game, at least one.
Oh yeah, he missed a field goal that he missed. The PAT missed the bad snap.
Okay. So
he's had a tough year. I mean, he's had a tough year. But
what about?
Like I told him, this is over. It's a great year now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who cares about anything that happened before that kick, right?
Yeah. At 42, I turned 42 next week, and I've never liked a kicker until today.
Well, Coach, take us back through. I'm going back through some text from Brooke, and it was 21-7, Benton at the half. Offense was kind of struggling. Defense was playing really well. You made a decision to take Mooney out for a little bit. You reinserted him, and then he ended up coming back and making throwing for a couple touchdowns and got you back into the ball game. But even with 4:50 left, you went from 28-14 down with 5 minutes left to 28-20, and then 28-26 with 4 minutes left. So you scored a couple times quick right there also, right?
Real big plays.
Brett,
big throws.
he skipped the text that says, I'm divorcing him. I think that was when you were down 28-20.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you. We actually deployed our 2-minute package that had some of our defensive guys on it too, so those guys that can go get it. But Cameron Iyer played a heck of a game, and Mooney gives us that big arm for that kid to go get it. We had 2 really big plays right there, and got within striking distance.
So you scored 2 touchdowns within a little over a minute span. Then you kicked the winning field goal with 0.6 seconds on one of the craziest endings. Coach, I'm getting text from Mr. Robert Grays. You know that 1985 was the last time Denham Springs played in a quarterfinal game, and it was against Ruston at Denham Springs.
Oh.
And that's who you get this week. That's right.
Ruston went on to play John Arrett, who beat them and played St. Martinville in the finals.
Oh.
Come on.
Leonard Valentine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, man.
Wildest thing I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know you and I know each other pretty well. You sound in complete shock right now.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see many times the team goes to victory for 4 downs and you end up winning the football game.
No, you don't.
Right.
Weird deal.
Well, it's going to be the shortest 4.5-hour bus ride in the history.
There ain't no doubt.
Hey, hydrate.
Real proud of our kids and coaches. They worked their butt off. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Well, Coach, man, look, we had to reach out to you just to hear about this crazy end. It's one of the craziest things you'll ever see in football.
Hey, one quick question. What did you say to the other coach at the end? What could you say?
He wasn't real happy. He actually circled back around and apologized, like, hey, man. I told the dude, like, I got a lot of respect for you. You've done a great job. It was fun. It was fun preparing for you. You're doing great things here, so keep it up.
Was he not happy because of the clock? He should have thought it went to 0, or just in general?
I guess clock management on his end. I guess he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, man, look, enjoy this one. We'll talk this weekend, but, man, just enjoy it. Have fun with it. And, hey, playing on Thanksgiving Day, I know this is at least your second time you did it at Live Oak. Now you're going to do it over there at Denham Springs. It's the best week of football. And, hey, be safe and good luck. We'll be in touch this weekend.
Thank y'all so much.
Another big upset, maybe we can get to, I know we got to go to break, Berwick over Bogalusa and the way they did it. Their defense came up big, and their offense turned it into points. And maybe we can see if we can't get in touch with the Berwick coach. I'm sure he's on his way back.
And Bogalusa is one of those teams coming off of a 21-day stretch. How you handle that, it wasn't to their own doing like some teams like Neville and Carrion Crow had open dates. They had a forfeit from Albany in Week 10, but you would think some of that kind of played into it also.
Your final 8 in that Division I non-select bracket: Ruston, Denham Springs, Zachary, Southside, Destrehan, East St. John, a rematch there, and Westgate and Neville.
Yeah.
So Westgate and Neville, those two's battled it out.
Yeah, 2 4A teams in the quarters, and they will play that game at Westgate.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back to wrap up Hour 1 of this Round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours. Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal. supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank.
Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. As we wrap up Hour 1, you ask and you receive, courtesy of Hunter Bauer at GoPreps.com. We're talking about margin of victory and average winning team, losing team scores. So for tonight, I don't remember the difference. I remember the difference being last in round 1, it was about 25 points or so. So this week, winning teams averaging about 37.3 points per game, losing teams averaging about 13.7 points per game, giving us a difference of 23.6 points per game. So still within 3 touchdowns, 9 shutouts, 13 upsets. So significantly more shutouts and some more upsets tonight. But I reading the scores, I felt it to be more competitive this week.
Yes, and that's about 25%, I'm guessing, that are upset. 64 games, 13-26, a little under 30, about 30% upsets, and those are lower seeds winning and or higher, however you want to say it. But I think that's I love the games today. I thought that there was a lot of good ones, and maybe the final score didn't indicate the type of game it was.
Exactly.
But
that's why I was fixing to say a lot of these games, the margin of victory occurred late in the game. Mm-hmm. You had a lot of them that were really competitive, as we mentioned earlier, and we're going through them. Even in the third and fourth quarter, we saw some of them, and then all of a sudden you'd see one team pull away. I mean, just like you take Ruston, number 1, playing Washita. That game was
trailing.
Yeah, they trailed Ruston in the first Washita in the first half, maybe even into halftime, and it was still one play game. And then Washita, the margin of victory came late in the ball game.
Neville was 10-6.
Yeah, and
kind of pulled away
10-9. They closed at 10-9, and then all of a sudden they pulled away to 31-9 or something like that. But yeah, I thought you saw that all over the board. Coach from St. Mary's, he brought up a really good point about getting this extra week of practice. And it's so important. People don't, when you start looking at a team like Zachary and Destrehan and your John Curtis, all your powerhouses, over a period of time, if you've made back-to-back finals or semifinal runs, you've gotten a 4 to 5 week period for 2 years in a row. So you're looking at 8 to 10 weeks of practice that a team that, let's say, doesn't make the playoffs, they don't get. Mm-hmm. So if you're a freshman and you've got them to it, that's a whole other season of practice that these other people haven't gotten.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important for programs to be successful.
And for teams in his situation that are trying to just build and build and build. And you would think that a quarterfinal trip, maybe that brings in a couple extra kids next year onto the team. As you start seeing success, certainly, everyone wants to get on board. Right. Everyone wants to buy the sweater and be in the stands. Somebody wants to put on the uniform. So all that goes into it. But yes, you get 4 extra weeks. If you're Zachary, that's 4 extra weeks to gel, to get used to. That's younger guys getting reps, and that's how you build the teams of the future.
So, soapbox for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Natchitoches Central is the only public school in Natchitoches.
Okay.
St. Mary's the only private school. They mirror attendance zones. So technically, St. Mary has no one outside their attendance zone unless they went to Pickens or whatever.
The Bean Parish they can get them from.
They could, but why go there when they can go to Manning? But so, referencing some, Shannon Wall, the guy from Northwood Shreveport, the problem with the split always was they tried to lump everybody into one mold, and it just didn't work. And now that they're seeing that, but I really believe, St. Mary didn't go anywhere to get kids. There's nowhere around. Maybe Sabine, but you're going to drive a tractor over there? What? So I just think that, I can get on Wall a little bit later, but,
And they did win tonight 35-9, and they're going to get to travel down to Brother Martin next week. Brother Martin's playing well. They hadn't played well late in the year, but they are now.
You never driven a tractor on the highway?
No.
I've gotten behind one time.
Oh, yeah. Sugarcane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It takes forever.
Used to all be 2-lane all the way up to Monroe from here. Not any longer.
Thank goodness.
Get behind that traffic at Angola for the rodeo in October. Ooh, bad bongos.
We'll take a timeout. Hour 2 next.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast office products.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Welcome back to the Round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, our cast of thousands. We got Skip getting your scores. We got Taylor on video and Ryan on the audio board tonight. If you missed anything, we'll have it on demand at 1045ESPN.com or on the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app. If you missed any scores throughout the night, you can find it scrolling on our ticker on the bottom of the screen on your view and also on the 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we will recap our walk-ons game of the week with the victorious head coach David Brewerton from Zachary. Zachary gets the win over West Monroe. That score and many more coming up right now as we get you caught up on what happened in the brackets tonight and set the scene for round 3, quarterfinal next week.
The Division I Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Warren Easton defeats Captain Tree 48-7. Karen Grove Acadiana 27-17. Northwood Shreveport 35. St. Paul 9. Brother Martin defeats St. Aug 27-24. John Curtis 35. Jesuit 7. C.E. Bird over Alexandria 49-10. Edna Carr 34. Scotlandville 26. And Catholic High 24. Rummel 0.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
St. Thomas More blanks Helen Cox 55-0. Madison Prep in overtime defeats St. Louis 6-0. John F. Kennedy 30. Archbishop Hannon 0. Edie White 32. Evangel 29. De La Salle over Vanderbilt Catholic 53-7. Lafayette Christian 46. McDonough 35-8. Archbishop Shaw 42, Livingston 6, and Turlings Catholic 51, GW Carver 27.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
Isidore Newman 57, Sophie B. Wright 19, University Lab 43, Country Day 0, Calvary shuts out North Lake Christian 52-0, Dunham over Martin Luther King 56-21, Notre Dame defeats Lake Charles College Prep 41-40. Episcopal, the field goal, defeats Loyola Prep 10-7. Parkview over North Caddo 28-24. And St. Charles 49, Ascension Episcopal 17.
Correction, that was your Division III Select Playoff Bracket.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Vermilion Catholic over Cedar Creek 31-7. Southern Lab defeats St. Frederick 12-6. St. Mary blanks Hanson 45-0. St. Martin 48. Delhi Charter 12. Washita Christian 49. Sacred Heart 0. Glenbrook over Catholic Point Capee 42-21. Ascension Catholic defeats Riverside 38-31. Opelousas Catholic 52. Central Catholic 12.
The Division I Non-Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
Ruston over Washita 37-16. Denham Springs 29. Benton 28. Zachary a 20-10 win over West Monroe. Southside 35. North Shore 14. Destrehan over Dutchtown 35-14. East St. John defeats Houghton 35-21. Westgate over Slidell 28-7. And Neville 31. East Ascension 9.
The Division II Non-Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
Iowa over Abbeville 17-14. Leesville defeats Jennings 21-7. Bro Bridge over Iota 33-18. North DeSoto over Cecilia, 33-14. Lakeshore over Opelousas, 35-34. Lutcher defeats St. Martinville, 49-33. North Vermilion over Church Point, 41-30. And West Feliciana, 55. Erath, 21.
The Division III non-select playoff bracket.
Pumped by peak performance.
Manny blanks Richwood 21-0. Rose Pine over Westlake 20-13. Avoyles beats St. Helena 54-8. St. James over Laurelville 41-14. Union Parish defeats Sterlington 34-14. Patterson defeats Winfield 36-12. Amite a winner over Gina 46-12. Berwick defeats Bogalusa 33-30.
The Division IV non-select playoff bracket, insured by State Farm.
Kentwood defeats General Trask 53-8. Oak Grove over Welsh 35-14. Haynesville defeats Oakdale 36-16. Basile 19, Oberlin 6. Mangum over Grand Lake 60-12. Arcadia 18, White Castle 12 in double overtime. Logansport 46, East Feliciana 16, Homer 52, Delhi 7.
Thank you, Skip. And as we mentioned, if you missed any scores throughout the night and you're watching on your view or you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, you can find that ticker on the bottom of the screen that'll give you every score from all 8 brackets going on tonight. About the sound of that tune, you know who we're bringing on next, a victorious head coach, David Brewerton, as Zachary gets the win tonight, 20-10 over West Monroe. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks for spending a couple minutes with us tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
I see you paid the officials off at halftime again, huh?
Wow. All right.
We're going to go there right off the bat. Huh?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you'll be accused of it. You were shut out again in the first half, and you come out and smoke them in the second. So
Yeah.
I figured it had to be something. Oh, seriously, what changed at halftime, Coach? First half, I'll
tell you what, defensive coordinator went in there, and Brew told him, don't let them score. They scored 7, and Drew said, all right, and then the offense took over.
And honestly, I'll be honest with you, and I think you're going to agree with me. First half, you played about as bad as y'all could play, and you were only down 3-0, and you had to feel good going into the locker room.
Yeah, I was okay. I mean, we the first time that a football actually touched one of our kids' hands, we housed an 80-yard punt, and I'm feeling pretty good. And then there's a little yellow flag on the field, so we don't get the points. And then we had them in a situation where we got a good sack and took them out of field goal range. And then we had a penalty that put them back in field goal range, and they go up 3-0. So you're right. I mean,
and they converted a 3rd and 18 on that drive.
That's correct. Anytime that we're well, never mind. I won't talk about that. But I think we're in a situation where we were just kind of. I think the offense just felt so pressed every time they went out there because their offense was having some really long drives and eating a lot of time off the clock. And so, you just felt like you had to hurry up and get something done out there. And you just couldn't get in sync. It just wasn't happening. And the turning point of the football game, there's 30 seconds left in the third quarter. At this point, we're down 10-0. And they've got a 4th and 2 on our 30-yard line. And Coach Thomas sent a run blitz, and our inside backer, Cameron Peterson, just smokes their tailback in the backfield. And, we took over on downs right there and drove it right on down and scored. And then I had a great defensive stop, and we ended up putting another one in, and then at that point now the juice is flowing, right? I mean, the stadium's going nuts, and West Monroe, they're not built to come from behind, and that's the biggest thing right there. Once we're in those situations, those cheetahs I have up front on that D line, they like going get that quarterback now. So when we were up 2 scores, that's what they were able to do, and that was the biggest thing. But yeah, 0 points going into the fourth quarter, and we scored 20 in the fourth to win it.
So, from an offensive coordinator's standpoint, I understand exactly what you're saying when you feel like, I mean, you're almost suffocating because you can't score. Then it goes 10-0. So what changes?
Right. Well,
that's stop.
Well, I was hoping for some words of wisdom, Jimmy.
But I mean, when you get a stop like that, you see that the defense.
I'm asking this coach if I want to know your opinion. I would ask you afterwards. I've heard his opinion many a time. You know that.
I think we were in one of those situations tonight where our whole football team, our stand, the crowd, everybody was just kind of like, all right, offense, come on. I mean, when is it going to happen? It's a matter of time. When is it going to happen? Come on, and then finally you get a stop like that on defense, and it really was just a shot of juice to everybody who was there. I mean, our crowd was ready to ignite. They just needed something. Our team was ready to ignite. They just needed something, and that's what it was. And now we dropped 2 touchdown passes. I'm talking about both balls hit all 10 fingers, right? And we just didn't convert, and we don't usually do that, but we did that tonight, and so that just added to the misery of what offense was for 3 quarters. But came on in the fourth quarter and got it done.
Brew, your first possession of the game, you hit a deep ball to Tylen Williams, and I don't know what happened. Why did they call the ball back?
The guy who was on it signaled a catch, and then the other guy came running in and said he didn't possess it long enough. I guess we're in the NFL now. He didn't possess it long enough for it to be considered a catch, and so they waved it off. And then, like I said, we dropped 2 other ones that were actually touchdown catches. So, but you know what? In the playoffs, you guys know you're going to have games like this every now and then, and you got to figure out ways to win them. And we have not come from behind in the fourth quarter this year to win a game, and so I was really, really pleased and happy with our guys that we buckled down and got that done.
So you're going to be on the road next week to Southside. Do you know anything about them?
I don't know a whole bunch other than the fact that they ran that district pretty good over there, which has got some hammers in it, and when you start beating Acadiana and Karen Crow and those guys, the way they beat them, they must be doing something right over there. I was told earlier tonight that tonight was actually their first playoff win in the history of the school. I don't know whether that's true or not, but
I think it is.
Yeah. So Coach Josh Fontenot's their head coach over there, and obviously they're doing something right because that's some big wins they got in that district.
And you know what's interesting, Jimmy, Brew, and Cade, is that sometimes a team like that, they would come into this game maybe a little wide-eyed. The only reason they would do it is because they're looking at what round it is. Because, like Coach is saying, they've played Acadiana, they played Karen Crow. I mean, the name's not going to really intimidate them, where maybe if they weren't in a district with so many hammers, it probably would. So I think they've done a real good job over there. It's going to be a fun game for you guys and tough challenge.
And one good thing about this far advantage, Zachary, if you want to go there, is that they've played John Curtis, they've played West Monroe that are option teams, and it's going to be a different option than what it is. It's going to be a double slot option is what Southside is going to run, but they have seen option offenses before, and I think that's going to play to Zachary's favor.
West Side's open. They run the option. They're open maybe a couple days. I think Wednesday they might can fit you in for a little scrimmage if you'd like.
They won in overtime 39-38 over East Side, I believe.
I'd love to sit with their staff maybe one day this week and see if we can go through some things. That'd be awesome.
Well, we can get their coach up there. Be careful what you ask for. You might get it.
Hey, that sounds exactly like what our run through was tonight. It said, "Be careful what you wish for." So that sounded pretty good.
That's the quarterback.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Coach, man, look, heck of a ball game. I was telling everybody's kind of panicking, walking out and talking to a few people out by a truck before we left, and everybody's kind of worried. I'm like, guys, they've taken their best shot. It's 3-0. They're going to win this game. So
Yeah.
And congratulations on it, and good luck next week, man.
Well, we certainly appreciate it, man. Thank you all very much.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
There you go, Coach David Brewerton on the Cardinal Financial Hotline. About the only negative I can think of is Pastalaya had a little too much pasta in it maybe tonight.
Yeah, they should have put a little more meat in that.
No, it was delicious. It was delicious. I kid.
Why didn't y'all bring us any? I mean,
joke.
look, we're all starving.
Interesting what you bring back. Look, first half, they weathered that's normally 3-0. We saw West Monroe getting 5, 6, 7 yards of carry in that opening drive, right? And then I think it was a second down. They elected to pass, got nothing on it, and then Zachary makes a stop. That first drive, so important sometimes. They got nothing. They didn't get 3. They didn't get 7. And as much as it seemed like, West Monroe had control of time of possession, was moving down the field, Zachary made stops and forced him to punt. And, it felt like that was a 14-0 half, or it felt like it could have been a 20-0 half, but it really wasn't. And yet they didn't play great. But the defense came through, held its ground until that offense came around.
Yeah, and like Todd said, and Bruce said, that when you're an offensive guy and Jack Laywood told me out at the truck before we left, I think they had ran like 17 to 20-something more plays than Zachary. Zachary only had
17-30 or something, yeah.
I think 17 plays in the first half is all they ran.
20-minute first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it was just boom, and, a couple 3-and-outs and couldn't get anything going. And
the field goal was 22 plays, I believe.
Yeah, it started on the 3-yard line. They converted a 3rd and 18.
3 third downs.
And then they had a stop. They had a stop that was a very, very the long pass that we talked about. I didn't see a drop. Guy got up with the football. I don't know where they called it a drop, whether he handed it to the official too quick. I don't know how they called it a drop. And then the personal foul that extended the drive that got them to where they could kick a field goal instead of having to punt from the 40, they moved it up to the 25 or whatever it was. It was just a little bitty bump. It was nothing obvious. And they had 2 officials, the white hat and the line judge, standing right there by it, and the guy from 20 yards in the secondary comes and throws the flag. When 2 officials are within 5 yards of it, and it wasn't worth a penalty. I mean,
and had it not been for that, then you were looking at a 0-0.
A 0. That's right. But like I said, they took their best shot. They survived the first half, and a lot of times that's what you got to do in playoff football.
But I want to say this real quick. I think these officials probably have been told, any little thing you see, flag it, because of the way things have become. And you really can't blame them for that, because you don't want a
something escalating later on.
Well, especially in this type, you're in the quarters. It happened several years back with Bogalusa and
it was A-Meat?
Yeah.
Or A-Meat advanced because of it or something? Or
A-Meat
had to forfeit?
They may be a little on the edge, but people should understand why.
And I will say this about the officials. They had another questionable call on a fair catch, on a punt, that Zachary hit the guy. The officials had an explanation and an answer, whether you agreed or disagreed or liked it or didn't like it. They had an answer for every question that was asked of them. And the return, I saw just a clip of it on the punt return. There was a hold. It was right in front of the Zachary bench, right on the sideline. I didn't see it when it happened, but I saw a replay of it and looked like a good call. So, yeah, I don't think they did a bad job tonight. They missed a couple, but you can do that. You are.
Yeah, I'm just thinking you're trying to be. Never mind.
No, I'm not being nice. I'll tell it like it is.
Oh, I know.
All right, we'll take a timeout when we get back. More scores coming your way as we look ahead to the quarterfinals in all 8 brackets here on this playoff round 2 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours. Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill.
Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. More scores coming your way in just a bit. You can follow all scores from all 8 brackets if you're watching on your view or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel by following along that scrolling ticker on the bottom of the screen. We'll keep you updated with quarterfinal matchups coming up in just a bit. Let's go ahead and jump on the Cardinal Financial Hotline. And we now join a victorious head coach, Mike Walker, from Berwick High School. We're making our way around all the way into the St. Mary Parish area. So, Coach, congratulations on this win tonight, and thanks so much for spending some time on the show with us.
No, thank you guys for having me.
Coach, somebody made a comment in our one of our sections. It said, "Unbelievable stop by Berwick's defense, great win." Can you kind of tell us how it went down?
Yeah, first off, I'm extremely proud of our kids. That they fought hard all week, all night. hell of a football game. We take the lead with about a minute and a half left. They drive down, move the ball, I think, close to our red zone, and we get a 4th down stop with about 12 seconds left. Phenomenal play, phenomenal effort by our defense. We had trouble stopping them early, but we made the big stop late.
Coach, this has kind of been an up and down crazy year for you. You start off the year 6-0, then you lose your last 4. You regroup before the playoffs. You get a good win last week against Jules Sumner. When you go 6-0 and then you lose 4 in a row, what are you telling your team at that point going into the playoffs?
Well, for us, when we got into our district play, our district is one of the toughest districts in the whole state. So we knew that the competition we played leading into the playoffs was no disrespect to any teams, but the teams we played were pretty darn good. So we knew we matched up well, and if we played the game that we were capable of playing, we would give ourselves a chance.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your team, and obviously, being from St. Mary Parish, we know where that is, of course. Berwick's had some tradition with some championships in the past, but tell us a little bit about your team. Who are some of your playmakers, and a little bit about the rest of the offense and the defense. I'm sorry.
No, our team, we're a spread offense. We want to run the football. Our running back is a senior named Jaden Milton. He's I think he was a 1,500-yard back, 20-plus touchdowns. He's definitely our workhorse. Our quarterback is Crew Bella. He's a 3-year starter. He's a senior also. Our top receiving threat is another senior, Zach Gonzalez. Those three, kind of make it tick for us on offense. We're a run-the-ball first team, trying to set up some play-action passes and some RPOs. And on defense, we had some playmakers in the secondary. Again, Zach Gonzalez is our free safety. And Isaiah Bennett is our top corner. We got Darrell Washington, who's our top defensive end. Just extremely proud of all those guys for the way they competed tonight.
Well, is this is going to be the third team from that district you're playing?
4. This is the 4th. Oh, yeah, from that district. Yeah,
he went
Jules Sumner, Bogalusa,
now Amite.
And now Amite.
Yes, sir. We've been making our rounds through that district for sure.
Coach, when's the last time Berwick's hosted a quarterfinal game? Do you know?
Well, the last time Berwick has even played in a quarterfinal game was 1975.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been a long time coming. Long time coming.
How long have you been there, Coach?
This is my 5th year, my 5th season here.
So you coach Mitchell Sanford?
I coached him his senior year, yes, sir.
Okay. I got you. Good heck of a ball player.
Hey, Mitchell.
Yeah, he was a hell of a quarterback.
Heck of a quarterback. He was offered by Oklahoma State as a quarterback. He ended up signing with LSU baseball, and he transferred to Texas Arlington, so I know his family real well.
I knew baseball had something to do with it for Jimmy to know who he was.
They won state with Brandon Bravado was the coach down there, and they won state at Berwick.
That's right, in 2018.
I mean, that guy, he's a redemptress guy, so we like him.
He's something else. He's one of my really good friends. I met him when I took this job, and we stay in touch pretty regularly. He's a good guy, good dude.
Yep. Well, Coach, man, look, you get to host. Like I say, it ought to be a packed stadium down there at Berwick. Everybody ought to be in town for the holidays. Hopefully some old alum will be in town.
Some good turkey rolling.
Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, congratulations, man, and good luck against Amite.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're excited about it, that's for sure.
All right.
I bet so, man. Congratulations.
1975, when you get a community like that, and there's going to be a lot of family coming in, and you would hope that they're going to come in and stay the weekend and get to go watch a ball game.
Well, if the idiot that's on this side of the mic can spit anything out of his mouth, maybe that he could answer
got that
a
turkey
question.
In there.
Yeah, just that chicken from Blue Store.
Gobble, gobble.
That's got to be awesome, though. First time since 75. St. Mary's, 5th-year coach as well. It's good things happening. Dunham, we kind of just glanced over them. They had a big win. Southern Lab, a big win. Yeah. Episcopal, Travis Bourgeois, man, what can you say? Just keeps doing it.
Keeps winning. I think the big one thing, there's only one division that's held chalk so far, and that's Division II Select. St. Thomas More and Madison Prep play.
What's one non-select? That's just what we were. I mean, 4 non-select. I'm sorry.
4 non-select.
That's Kentwood at the top.
Yeah, you got Kentwood,
Oak Grove, Haynes, Arcadia upset White Castle tonight, and I went through that one off.
Looking through the bracket we were just in, that being Division III non-select, Manny, Rose Pine, St. James advancing to play. Of Loyals are going to be making that trip. Union Parish getting over that hump in the postseason over Sterlington, and they get to travel to Patterson, and as we just mentioned, with Coach Walker, Amite, and Berwick.
And 18 seed beating a 2, that's the biggest upset of the night.
Bro Bridge was 28. They were number 28 seed. So they've interesting.
Bro Bridge is upset a number 5, and then it'd be a 16 difference in seed, 28 and 12 Iota. So they've beaten the number 5 and number 12.
Boy, Mark Boyer's all fired up. Denham won, and Bro Bridge won.
I'm gonna tell you, you look at the bottom half of that bracket in Division II non-select. I think your heavyweights are down there. Lakeshore, which we kind of called that one a 14 seed over Opelousas, a 3 seed, 35 to 34. We figured they would have a little trouble. Coach Indes does an unbelievable job with the wing T.
It was a battle, though.
They're playing well, yeah. And then West Feliciana winning tonight handily. They'll go to North. They'll travel to North Vermilion, which upset a number 7 Church Point. And then the big game that I thought in that classification, which to me may have been for the state championship, was Lutcher over St. Martinville, 49 to 33. Lutcher Lakeshore is going to be a really, really good game next week.
And that one at Lakeshore, correct?
That will be at Lakeshore, yes.
Interesting game so far.
Coming back, we got to bring this intro from North DeSoto. They had a message they wanted to send out to the folks.
Okay. All right. We'll get that when we return on this round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Your View.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford.
Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You're watching LA Prep Scoreboard.
Welcome back to the round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. We'll get you caught up right now on scores from the select side and the non-select side. All 8 brackets coming your way. Set up the quarterfinals right now.
The Division I Select Playoff Bracket, restored by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Karen Crow will travel to Warren Easton, and Northwood Shreveport will travel to Brother Martin. C.E. Bird will travel to John Curtis, and Catholic High will host Edna Carr.
The Division II Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
Madison Prep will travel to St. Thomas More. E. White will host John F. Kennedy. Lafayette Christian will travel to De La Salle, and Archbishop Shaw will travel to Turlings.
The Division III Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
University Lab will travel to Newman. Calvary will travel to Dunham. Episcopal will travel to Notre Dame. Parkview will host St. Charles.
The Division IV Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Southern Lab will host Vermilion Catholic, and St. Martin's will host St. Mary. Glenbrook will travel to Ouachita Christian, and Ascension Catholic will host Opelousas Catholic.
The Division I Non-Select Playoff Bracket, cared for by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine.
Ruston will travel down to Denham Springs, and Zachary will travel to Southside. Destrehan will travel to East St. John, and Neville will travel to Westgate.
The Division II Non-Select Playoff Bracket, served by walk-ons.
Iowa will travel to Leesville. North DeSoto will travel to Breaux Bridge. Lutcher will travel to Lakeshore, and North Vermilion will host West Feliciana.
The Division III Non-Select Playoff Bracket, pumped by Peak Performance.
Manny will travel to Rose Pine. St. James will travel to Avoyelles. Patterson will host Union Parish, and Berwick will host A. Meade.
The Division IV Non-Select Playoff Bracket, insured by State Farm.
Oak Grove will travel to Kentwood, and Basile will host Haynesville. Arcadia will host Mangum, and Homer will host Logansport.
Thank you, Skip. And Ryan and Taylor are behind the scenes. Cade Wazan here along with Jimmy Roy as we wind down last couple of minutes, last two segments here of our scoreboard show tonight. Looking through the brackets, I want to go back up to the North Louisiana area, or
yeah. Well, first let's mention North DeSoto. We haven't talked much about them this year since they're listening and gave us a shout out up there. We will go answer back to them. Dennis Dunn's the head coach over there. Really good year for those guys. 10-1 now on the season. They have a freshman quarterback in Luke Delafield. He's thrown for over 1,700 yards and over 28 touchdowns. Two good running backs, both of them over 800 yards, John Lewis and Brian Banks. They have a receiver, Cole Corey, with over 700 yards this year. North DeSoto come in averaging 46.8 and allowing only 15 points. But one of the stat that jumps out to me about North DeSoto is they forced 44 turnovers in their regular season games, in 10 games. So they're forcing almost, 4.5 turnovers a game. And when you're doing that, you're going to win a lot of ball games. So give North DeSoto some credit there. We can talk Ruston and Denham next week, Cade, in 5A. I have that one circled. I think that's going to be a really good game. We'll get to actually, one of us will probably go to that game. Somebody else will probably go cover Carr and Catholic. But you get to see the number one seed in the state come down here with their running attack that they have. They have two really good backs that and the ability to throw the football some. Jordan Hayes filled in for Dyson Fields some over his injury. That's going to be a really good one. Denham Springs has a really good defense. Ruston's physical on both sides of the ball. It'll be an interesting one there. If we stay in the non-select, I think the game we just mentioned, if you talk about Lutcher and Lakeshore, is the premier game there. West Feliciana's going to travel. You thought they'd have been at home against Church Point. Church Point's lost 2 out of their last 3. Their season ends. Go to Division III non-select. I don't really see a standout game that just really grabs you. Berwick, we just talked to them having lost 1-6, lost 4 in a row, and then they rebound to win 2. They continue in that same district playing a meet. Patterson has the leading passer and receiver in the state, playing a ground-heavy Union team. That's a long trip for Union down to Patterson. See how they do. Now, 1A, or Division IV, I keep calling it 1A, Kentwood Oak Grove. That's 2 historically tradition powerhouses. That's going to be a good one. And then you look at the bottom one, Logansport and Homer, that game there jumps out to me also.
Yeah. Mangum continues to play pretty well, and you would think they'd have the edge over Arcadia.
They should.
So, yeah, that one would continue to roll. And then if you go back to that North DeSoto, that's where we see Bro Bridge, the team that's been kind of the team that's really played well as of late, played well in wrapping up the season last week in a big upset win. And can you carry some of that momentum into
Bro Bridge?
Yeah.
I just think North DeSoto is going to be too good. That's a tough draw. Sometimes that storybook ending comes to an end. But what a run. What a run by Bro Bridge. You didn't think they were going to get – I think they got beat by Livonia the last week of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And here they are playing well. What's the old saying? You're only as good as you are today. What you did yesterday don't matter. What you do tomorrow don't matter. How good are you today? And they've been the best on Friday nights. Iowa, the number 1 seed, struggled with Abbeville tonight, 17-14 win. They had to come from behind in that one. So I just think the best teams are at the bottom of that bracket.
Are we looking at a potential Manny-St. James matchup?
I think so. I'd be surprised if the Vols can come down here. They're not going to punt.
Yeah, that's true.
Kay gave them advice to punt,
maybe
they're not.
No. Yeah, and I don't know if that means that we'd see an upset brewing with St. James over Manny, but I think that's very likely a semifinal matchup. I know there'll be a lot of people probably pulling for St. James in that sense, but
yeah. St. James and Manny. St. James is going to have the athletes. If you go back and you look at it, the teams that's given Manny the troubles, like in the state championship, like an A meet or somebody like that, Faraday a couple years ago. Those are the teams that cause Manny troubles, that has the athletes. St. James has those kind of athletes that can give Manny fits. Now, Manny's returning 10 out of their starters from last year. They're loaded. We all know about Tackett Curtis going to USC. Tradition powerhouse. Manny obviously is the favorite in this class, but I look at it and St. James can play with them. I think Union can play with them. I don't know if A-Meek can this year. Maybe they can.
Let me do one more look ahead. There's no reason to think that Destrehan East St. John won't be similar to what we saw just a couple of weeks ago. I would assume that Destrehan can get a win there.
I would agree.
Potentially seeing Neville in a semifinal matchup, and I wonder how well they would match up, Destrehan and Neville.
I don't know if anybody's going to match up with
the kind of offense
with Destrehan, except for Zachary or Rustin. I think those two can. Southside Zachary's going to be interesting. Like I said, I think Southside, they run a gimmick, if you want to call it that, defense. They may stand up all their linemen at times. They move all around. And Coach Fontenot,
it's not the same as what we saw traditionally from Acadiana, right? Not that rolling.
No, that was on offense side.
Okay.
But their defense, when we talked to Coach Fontenot, one of the things he said was they weren't big enough to physically hold people up and just stuff runs and things like that. When you're playing Acadiana and you're playing Karen Crow, that's what you're going to get. Okay, so they're not able to do that. So they started moving guys around. They're standing people up. They're blitzing from every angle that they can. They're coming from everywhere, and it causes teams havoc because you don't see it. But when you hold a Acadiana to 7 points, you're doing something right. It's chaos, but it's organized chaos, if that makes sense.
Yeah. He's Jimmy Roy, Cade Wazan here. Do we have a Taylor top 5 for the week? No? All right. Fair enough. Just wanted to check. Kind of an in-show audible there. As we look through the brackets and seeing what has transpired from round 2 tonight. I will say this, the crowd was nice over at Zachary tonight, even though it was quite cold, and shout out to the fire department. Another nice chance to stop by, as they do a great job of cooking for the school. And West Monroe brought some fans. I know that we've looked around this year and wondered what the attendance would be like, but I think we're starting to see, as you get into this time of year, next week's always tough. It's always tough if you're traveling.
It is, but people need to get out and support their schools. I know a lot of people go off during the holidays like we talked about, but if you're in town, go out. Quarterfinals is one of the funnest weeks. It is the funnest week to practice. But a lot of times the attendances are down because people are going Black Friday shopping. They're going to their relatives out of town. They're not there. But if you're in town for your high school, or just find a high school in the town you're in and go watch it, because there are some really, really good games. We'll come back and we'll go over.
That's why I'm nervous if Taylor shows up next week, Black Friday shopping, after he gets off work next Friday.
We'll go over the division of the select when we come back.
We'll do that when we return to wrap up this round 2 playoff edition of the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jdecody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours. Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Total Occupational Medicine on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care Total Occupational Medicine Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. You know, something I want to make sure we mention as a prep football community, it was great to hear the continued recovery of Mike Hollins. Tragic story. And thoughts and prayers with the student body, the community over University of Virginia. But Mike having multiple surgeries this week after the incidents last weekend. So great to hear of his recovery from someone we covered, quite a bit.
Met his mom one night at a store going right before the game. I was going to get some ice and met her, and she said, "Look, you make sure you talk about my boy tonight." Super nice people. Yeah, tragic situation.
Incredible teams, those U-High teams, and some of those runs. Let's go ahead and look at the select side before we get out of here, Jimmy. And
Division One, obviously the game that just jumps out at you. I think it's a state championship game being played in the quarterfinals. That's Carr coming to Catholic. Carr struggled tonight. They were down in the fourth quarter. A.J. Samuel, their quarterback, who was hurt a couple of weeks ago, was played limited tonight. I think they ended up bringing him in, and they came back in that game to win that one 34-26. But they were down in the fourth quarter. So I think John Curtis will have something to say about that. That'd be a semifinal game. Warren East and Karen Crow obviously should be a good game. Madison Prep, like we said, that one is chalk. Madison Prep, St. Thomas More. But the game that jumps out at me in that one is De La Salle and Lafayette Christian. De La Salle's undefeated, one of the few left. Playing Lafayette Christian, they're very battle-tested. Both of these teams are battle-tested. It's going to be a good one.
How about Coach Hank Tierney getting into the quarterfinals with Shaw going into 4A? And
great job. Good move by them to go down to 4A and get out of Catholic League. Fits more into their enrollment. I think Division III has some great games. Newman and U-High.
Yeah.
Arch Manning against the defense from Andy Martin and those guys. It's going to be a really good one. Calvary coming to Baton Rouge. We don't see Calvary down here much playing Dunham. That's going to be a good one. Dunham lost their first game and hasn't lost since. They're playing really well. Notre Dame Episcopal, I think Notre Dame's just going to be a little too much, even though Travis Bourgeois, he just keeps winning every single year. Just wins and wins and wins. Parkview, St. Charles.
When's the last time they've been in the quarterfinals, Parkview?
It's probably been a little while. Well, I don't know with this new brackets. They could have made it, but St. Charles is a tough draw for them. A game in Division 4, 3 of the 4 really jump out at me. Southern Lab, battle-tested, plays Vermilion Catholic, giving up 3.7 points a game. That one's going to be a good one. That's going to be in Baton Rouge also. Ouachita Christian, Glenbrook will have the longest win streak at 17 games now. I think OCS wins that one. And then Ascension Catholic, Opelousas Catholic in a rematch.
Yeah, good job, Bulldogs, pulling that one out a win against Riverside. And so we'll have an Ascension Parish Roundup. We got a Livingston Parish Roundup on the preview show next week as these teams continue to advance. And we look forward to talking a little bit more about these games on Sunday night at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's Louisiana Prep Weekly. Myself, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy will be there. And then next Friday night, if you're tired of eating leftovers and you're ready to get out and do something, catch a ball game, there's going to be plenty. And we look forward to seeing you then for the quarterfinal round of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Thanks so much, Lake After Hours. Thanks to our team. We'll see you next